Our middle child, from the age of 2, he was labeled, not so much labeled, but like people talked around it like, oh, maybe he has sensory processing disorder. Maybe he has ADHD. Maybe he has oppositional defiance. There was always like talk around it. There was no specific diagnosis, but from 2, he was in occupational therapy and he was in a preschool. And I remember being called in. They're like, yeah, this is a problem. He is a problem.
Okay, well, good morning. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you, Sarah, and to hear about your story, where you came from, what you're experiencing now with creating Champions for Life. So welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. My name is Sarah Nadri, and I am living in Istanbul currently with my family. I have 3 children, my husband, who's French. I'm originally from upstate New York. Yeah, I've been living outside of the US for about 15 years now. Our children are Millie, Max, and Adrian, and they're 8, 6, and 4. Yeah, it was bam, 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 3 in a row.
Yeah, amazing. A lot of sibling rivalry, or used to be.
Used to be, actually. Nothing gets eliminated completely, but we have such better tools to handle it. And it's us to, it all comes down to us.
That's amazing.
They're playing over there. They're not fighting.
Get there. We're definitely going to get there in our interview today.
I was so insecure. I was so conscious about, not taking up too much space around people. I had parents that loved me very much, but most of my trauma actually comes from my childhood. During my teenage years, things weren't that great. I
heard that. Well, you were a referral from Jennifer, who owns a very successful law firm. And
we were best friends.
You were best friends. And Thomas said that you were little rebels.
I think that's a very, very nice way. Jen and I had very similar upbringings, and we were best friends since 3rd grade. When you talk about a storm, I think people talked about us in that way. Like, we came through like a storm, and our parents didn't have that much control over what we did because it was just so confusing for them. I mean, confusing for us. I mean, everybody was just like, we were all just navigating chaos. I actually would describe it as a typical American upbringing. Very, very rebellious and really down and dirty teenagers.
What I just heard was that you had very loving parents. They had rules, they had boundaries, and they attempted to control what you did. And you were just like, nope, you're not going to control me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not dogging my parents. I know they had it hard. I love them. It's just that they didn't know what to do. I mean, they were like, I'm going to ground you. And then you're not grounded anymore. It's okay. The more that they imposed, rules and boundaries, as much as they could, I fought back harder. It's no coincidence that as a 23-year-old, I just kind of left the country and never went back. I had ideas of how I would raise my kids. I was a really big believer going into parenthood as a attachment parenting style. Fast forward, of course, that didn't serve me. I'm here. My understanding of attachment parenting is that, you have a kid who has big emotions and you get down on their level and you talk to them like, okay, Adrian, now we're going to go play at the park and then we're going to go home and wash our hands.
Well, basically what you're saying is it's a very gentle form of control.
Yeah. There's a lot of like, hold my hand. There's a lot of not guiding, but like now I have dictating. Yeah. Now I have the vernacular, but dictating of like, okay, we're going to go do this now. I know that makes you sad.
I'm actually emotional right now. Like just a second, because I didn't even expect to get emotional, but it makes me really emotional. This whole gentle parenting thing, because like, I see all these young mothers out there doing the best they can to be kind to
Yeah.
their kids, and they think they're doing the right thing and raising
Yeah.
emotionally intelligent children. But what we're really doing is we are still not listening to them. It is all about us. It's all about rules. It's like,
Mhm.
gosh, if there was ever a place to put in or insert in wolves in sheep's clothing, I have to say that. Now, I want to also pre-frame, everybody's doing the best they can with what they know. But
Absolutely.
do you know
Absolutely.
who actually writes the textbooks that the parenting experts are learning from?
Oh, that's a good question. It, no.
If you had to guess, is there anything that comes to mind?
Uh, it's not psychologists, is it? Like psychologists or
Who writes the
is it like
textbook?
like a specific person, or is it like a group of people?
I want to say it's a group.
uh I honestly I don't know off the top of my head.
So the pharmaceutical companies write the textbooks
Ah,
that the psychologists and therapists are getting their education from. And I don't know,
mm,
if oppositional defiant disorder was a
mm,
$26 billion industry,
mm,
I'm just throwing it out there
mhm, mhm.
because what
It
we're
makes
doing,
sense.
yeah, we're creating sick kids, and the mental health
Mm,
industry is just getting bigger. Instead of getting better, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And
mhm,
we've literally in the last 20 years gone from 2 out of 100 kids who are actually labeled with ODD to now
mhm.
22 out of 100 kids, and just getting worse.
I believe you came on my radar a year prior to me actually pulling that trigger. Seeing Jen and her kids was just like, oh my God. And I would ask her questions. There's, no way that I could implement anything that she was doing like at the time. And so I was like, oh man, I really need to get on this. My husband was working a lot. He wasn't home. He travels around the world for business. So it was me and the kids a lot of the time. We were on vacation. And I remember like just thinking like, I don't even know the incident that happened, but the kids, I mean, everything in the house is just turned upside down. Asking the kids to do anything was like pulling teeth. And then my husband and I, we were not on the same page, like at all. And it just accumulated, I guess, in summer last year. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this.
So there was a lot of chaos, a lot of
A
disharmony, a
lot of
lot of
chaos.
disorder.
Right. Our middle child from the age of 2, he was labeled, not so much labeled, but like people talked around it like, oh, maybe he has sensory processing disorder, maybe he has ADHD, maybe he has oppositional defiance. There was always like talk around it. There was no specific diagnosis, but from 2 he was in occupational therapy and he was in a preschool. And I remember being called in and I was sitting down and they're like, yeah, this is a problem, he is a problem. And I'm like, I was pregnant out to here with my 3rd child. And I'm like, oh God, like, I don't know. Where do
Wow.
I go? And for me, like, I felt like a deer in headlights. I was like, okay, all right. Yeah, he needs help. Like, yeah, like, when you have authority people who are in charge of your children saying these things to you, yeah, of course I'm going to be more vulnerable to it, I guess. He's the 6-year-old and his behavior became so big and so emotive and so to the point where it was causing a lot of trouble between my husband and I in our marriage. Yeah.
Or congratulate you for actually making a move, because ODD eventually, like, it doesn't go away on its own. It just gets bigger and bigger. It turns into conduct disorder. And if we continue down that path, it turns into psych wards, social services, police being called, drug addiction. I mean, being terrified of your kid for like, it just gets bigger and bigger until you either get it and change or the kid dies. And that is the path of ODD. So stick and stay. And no matter what happens, just keep going and you're on the right track.
My greatest obstacle has been, I have a couple, but one has been staying at the same pace as my husband. We are getting on the same page, and this is where we are now, but I feel like maybe there might be a little imbalance of the knowledge. Also, my perfectionism has really come into play here, and it's like I need to do this right now. And if I don't get it right, I'm like, what's going on? I mean, this is really played and poked and, needled and jostled my perfectionism as a
Wow.
parent. And it's very clear to me the things that I need to work on, in order to parent better. The kids are way more responsive than the adults are. We haven't had much pushback in terms of what we've implemented so far. So
Awesome.
the biggest thing is
You.
me. Yeah.
Most parenting courses, of course, will focus on the kid and, setting
Yeah.
more clear boundaries and this kind of
Mhm.
thing. So what you're realizing is that it's a personal development, it's you, it's personal developing you and creating new neural pathways for mom and dad and the learning
Yeah.
curve of being proactive versus reactive.
Yes. It's pretty awesome though, because it bleeds into other areas of my life. So my career, my interactions with other people, how like I even drive, I live in a city that's very, very, very traffic like dense, and the kind of maniacs that are on the road and want to, my days have been ruined from traffic. I'll just say that. And even like my approach to this is so much more measured and even and calm, and like, wow, your wife must be pregnant, in labor. Maybe you need to get to the hospital right away. It's
I love that. You're growing as a human being. Parents realize that your children come into the life to mirror, to make your world bigger so that you can personally evolve. It's really about
yeah.
you and not even about your children, because children will just
Yeah.
adapt to their environment.
I mean, if I'm screaming curse words at people while I'm driving and my kids are in the back seat, and now I have that conscious awareness of like, yeah,
See,
why
monkey
would you do
do.
that? Yeah, why would you do? Of course they're cursing at school. The awareness that just comes out of it is like boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, So it's yeah.
Love it. I love it. Thank you for being just real and vulnerable and open. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
My greatest accomplishment has been the relationship I've been able to develop with my daughter, on a more intimate, level. This was one of my things going into this program, was that my distance from my oldest daughter. She looks just like me as a kid. So many things that she said brought up so many things in me. So I unconsciously was pulling away. And as sad as that is, I'm ginormously grateful that I can relate to her in so much better ways, because I'm more confident as a person myself. Those triggers are just, I mean, triggers will always be there, but I'm able to mitigate them, and my reaction, my recovery time has minimized so much. When my daughter says something like, "Mommy, you never spend time with me," I'm not immediately like, boom, of course I spend time with you. Why wouldn't you? I'm able to be like, Millie, is that a goal that you have? You want to spend time with me? That's awesome. I want to spend time with you too. Like, these are things that they seem so small in the moment,
Yeah.
but they equal such huge, huge transformations. Like, my daughter told me the other day, I want to be just like you, mommy, when I grow up. And I'm like, really?
What?
Not that my son's relationships, you have boys, you have girls, the difference between it. And mothers and daughters have this like frenetic, I guess, energy sometimes when it's not contained, and it needs to
Yeah.
be, it needs to, one person in that couple has to be more in charge of that frenetic energy.
Yes, and it should be the older one or the younger one.
Yes. Well,
That is so powerful because, of course, our daughters are still our daughters after the age of 18. I have a daughter that's 21 and another one that is, oh my gosh, is she 24 or going to be 24? Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's say she's 24. And I hang out with them both quite a lot. And even just last summer, you know, she looks back on her childhood, and until she was about 13 years old, she was spoiled rotten, like 12,
Mm.
13 when Tom and I started creating Champions for Life. So in comes this man who becomes her stepfather, who shuts down the welfare system. She had me literally wrapped around her little finger, and then all of a sudden she has to earn everything from brown sugar on the oatmeal to sleepovers with her friends. And so I
Mhm.
remember when she was 14 or 15, she literally went from being a couch potato who didn't believe in herself to graduating on the honor roll and like doing all these
Mhm.
amazing things. She's got money in the savings account. My oldest son had $20,000 in his savings account by the time he left
Wow.
home. Oh yeah, like they all, Jenny yesterday, she just had a baby. She's 21. She shares with me yesterday, well, I haven't touched my bank account since $5,000 ago. I go, you have $5,000 in a bank account? So when she says I'm out of money, she doesn't mean I'm out of money. She means I'm out of like money that I have access to spend right now because the rest of her money's
Right.
in a savings account. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my God, you have enough money to buy yourself a car. What are you doing? Like, so they're so self-disciplined. I see that part, but like still
Mm.
things come out like, well, you were always working, or,
Mm.
you know, just things come out
Yeah.
like, oh, that's weird. And that'll come out.
Mhm.
And if I didn't have the training of creating Champions for Life too, I would probably react to that or take it personally.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
like you're saying, I
Yeah.
now know just to validate it and to ask
Mhm.
questions for deeper understanding so we can get onto the same page. I'm like following
Yeah.
the formulas, but I'm still consciously competent when it comes to those things. I have to take a deep
Yeah.
breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a deep breath, reframe how I'm looking at it, ask questions, and
Mhm.
it's all about them and how I can empower them to go to the next
Right.
level. And yeah, we're best friends, all of my
Mhm.
adult children. So I just wanted to say that's really powerful that
That's
you're picking
amazing.
this up now at 8, because you
Yes.
have a whole lifetime of building a stronger relationship with your daughters.
And
And
that's really what I want. I mean,
yeah,
that's I want when they leave, I want to have a forever relationship with them.
yeah,
I don't want this separation. Like you're
like they have to
18,
leave.
leave. I want them to want to leave, but I mean it's different. And I want that like camaraderie and friendship and
Every
just
parent's
the yes.
dream.
My favorite part has been how accountable I've been made to be. I think with any kind of online learning, the accountability is the hardest for any kind of student to maintain. And the accountability has been everything for me. Like it
Awesome.
has carried me through. Yeah, I've tried to stay consistent with that and my coaching, listening to whatever I could that day, no matter, the amount of time that I have, still having something on.
What I want to
Yeah.
say to you and all of our clients who might be watching this, and anybody who's thinking about being a client, is it's going to take time to rewire the brain, because
Mhm.
we can tell you exactly what to do. And in the moment, you're not going to see it because you've been so conditioned with attachment parenting, like you were
Yeah.
saying, that
Mhm.
it's hard to see the other side of the coin. So brilliant
Yeah.
that you've made it this far in
Yeah.
only 8 months, Sarah.
No, 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 no.
Why
Because
not?
with the skills that we're gaining, I mean, I can go and make $1 million now. No, I mean, my husband, myself, we're transformed. We're a family now. Like we're a unit. We like being with each other. We like spending time with each other. We like the interactions that we have. We like when big emotions come in, nobody responds with the same kind of emotions, we like that. We love the connection, and we just, yeah, no, I don't think so. like I said before, it's bled into every aspect of my life. So it's not, it's not just parenting. It's not just, my kids, me, my husband. It's everything in my world.
Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
I would love to just say it's not your kids. Like it's not your kids and it's not your fault. There's nothing that you're doing wrong. You are absolutely showing up as you are, everything that you know, all your knowledge. But sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And when you are your most empowered, you can rock through any kind of tantrum, any kind of meltdown, public or not. You can rock your way through kids not eating their dinner. You can do it when you're empowered. There's nothing that can stop you from having the relationship you want with your kids.
That's awesome. Life is forever transformed.
Yes. Yeah. For the better. For the better. We've been able to really handle some like big life obstacles that have been thrown our way since September. We've been able to weather the storm more elegantly.
That's a beautiful thing. Well, I appreciate you for being just such a great student, for sticking and staying through the obstacles, through the Tominese, through things that you didn't quite understand, and just for being a seed out there in the world or in the universe and God's world to help the next generation step into their power as champions, and just to be evidence that guiding behavior outweighs trying to control their behavior, even in the most kind and gentle way. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
All
for everything you do.
My absolute pleasure. I live to watch this transformation. So I'm so grateful.